to the Age of Empires 3, The Age of Discovery, the board game. This game is a 2 to 5 player game. Today we're going to be running a 2-player game. Let's start with setup. The first thing we need to do is separate the buildings in their different age groups. The next step is to go ahead and pick 5 cards from the age 1 pile. Let's look at those buildings in a closer look. The first building is going to give us 1 free colonist in the X space of the colonist deck each turn. Next we have the settlers building, which gives us 1 colonist each turn. Next, the navigator, 1 free captain in the discovery box each turn. Training grounds gives you +1 soldier every turn. And finally, the conquistador, which gives us 1 free soldier in the discovery box each turn. So those are our starting buildings. Next we need to shuffle the trade goods. I have also gathered 4 trade resources to start us with. We need to put a merchant ship here on the merchant shipping area. On our colonist deck, we need to show how many spaces are available for this game. Since on this game there will be 2 players, and the equation is the number of players times 2 minus 1, we will only be using 3 spaces in the colonist dock during this game. Put a merchant ship over space number 4 to remind us that we cannot put colonists in that space and so forth, except for the last 2 spaces, X and Y, which are special spaces. I have randomly selected the startup order with the yellow player going first and the red player going second. And also we need to put 1 colonist on the track so we can score our victory points. And the last thing we need to do is we need to set up the map part of the board game, which is easily done. All you need to do is put a trade good, which is going to match the picture on the map, and also a discovery tile, which is the tiles that we're going to be fighting against in order to colonize the map areas. Now you'll notice that the Caribbean does not have a discovery tile. That's because this area is available from startup, so we can already start to colonize the Caribbean. So go ahead and put a merchant ship in the turn sequence so that you can keep track of how many turns there are. This game runs for 8 turns. Alright, so let's get started. The yellow player is going to go first. Because he is first, he starts with 10 gold coins, which are color gold, and 5 colonists. He decides to start with a colonist in the trade goods area. Trades are the way that you start getting money in the game. You need at least 3 in order to get 1 silver coin. Red starts with 5 colonists and 11 gold coins, or $11, whatever you want to call it, 11 coins. He gets 1 extra coin because he is second in the game to pick where to get started. He's going to go ahead and start by getting a capital building. Capital buildings in H1 have a cost of 10. Yellow decides he wants a building too, so he goes ahead and places his yellow mark. Then red decides he wants to go and discover some land. Yellow is going to start collecting some of those merchant ships, which come in very handy during the game because they serve as a wild card. Now, in this particular one, it's interesting because you don't just get the ship because you're standing in that area. You have to battle it out, and whoever has more colonists in that area at the end of the turn is the one that's going to get the ship. Now it's Red's player's turn, and he is going to go ahead and prepare for the future. So he's going to go ahead and set his colonist on the merchant specialist area so that he can get a merchant at the end of this turn to use for his next turn. The yellow player wants to go and discover some areas too, so he places a colonist in the dock, ready to be deployed. Red still has 2 more colonists. It decides to go ahead and send 1 more colonist out. Remember, when you have 3 colonists in an area, you can pick up that trade good. So red is getting ready to do just that. Now it's yellow player's turn to decide where to go, and he decides to go and buy another trade good. And finally, the red player decides that doesn't want to be second anymore. It wants to start going first. So he's going to go ahead and place his colonist in the initiative area so that he can have a chance to be first next time, and also he's going to get some income. And all the colonists have been placed now on the board, so we're going to go ahead and resolve, and that way you'll understand a little bit more what goes on in the game and how the areas work. The colonists are deployed in order. So red player is going to go to the only area available, which is the Caribbean, and then the yellow player is going to go ahead and follow the red player to the Caribbean, the only area available right now. And finally, the red player decides to also join the party at the Caribbean. Okay, so everybody's been deployed, so we can go ahead and go to the trade goods track. Yellow is going to go ahead and pick a good. They're free. For his first choice, yellow picks silver. Second choice, the yellow player decides to go for tobacco. Now we move down to the merchant shipping, and at the merchant shipping there's only a yellow colonist. That means that he gets the boat. Moving right along, we go to capital buildings, and red gets to pick a building first. He has to pay 10 coins. So red buys the navigator. Now yellow has to pick a building, and it decides to go for the conquistador. So we move from the capital buildings track to the discovery track. Nobody's been brave enough to go on this yet. We are going to the specialists. Now the red player gets a merchant, which he can use on his next turn. And last, there's the warfare track, but nobody is yet ready to declare war. So that's all of the steps for the resolution part. Now we go ahead and end the turn. The way we do this is by first collecting income. The yellow player can collect income this turn because it has 3 trade goods of different kinds. It has 1 silver, 1 tobacco, and a ship, which counts as a wild card. So that means that he's got 3 different trade goods, and for that he gets 1 coin. Next up, the buildings are resolved. So the yellow player, who is still first, has the conquistador building, which gives him a free soldier in the discovery box each turn. So we're going to go ahead and place a yellow soldier in the discovery box. The red player has a navigator, 1 free captain in the discovery box each turn. So we're going to go ahead and add a captain, a red captain, to the discovery box. Now we move on to the refresh the capital buildings step. We bought 2 of the buildings, so now we only have 3 left. We need to go ahead and randomly select 2 more to make it back to 5 again. So we add those 2 buildings. We got a monastery, which gives us 1 free missionary each turn. And we also have the settlers, that gives us 1 colonist each turn. Now we need to refresh our trade goods. The trade goods that were not sold go away, and we mix them up with the other ones that are still in the supply, and we pick 4 new trade goods to place here. So for next turn, the available trade goods will be tobacco, cattle, indigo, and gold. Now we go ahead and refresh the merchant ship area if the merchant ship was taken, which in this case it was. So we go ahead and place a new ship there that's available. Next up, we give players 5 colonists. The red player, however, has a merchant already that it gathered from the specialist. We add to his hands 5 regular colonists. And now we can go ahead and switch the turn order according to the initiative. The red colonist that was placed in the initiative track is discarded, and now the order is adjusted, and the red player is going to go first next turn. Finally, we go ahead and move this ship to turn 2.